Hello and welcome back to the Google Workspace Update podcast from Strawberry 7. My name is Adam, and again, I'm afraid my co-host Adam is unable to join us this week. So, unfortunately, listeners, it's just me. We had another scheduling problem. I'm sure you guys can appreciate this time of year. It's very difficult to get us both together, but hopefully Adam will be back next week. We're here to bring you the latest updates on all of the updates happening in the world of Google Workspace. This podcast is available in audio format from your regular podcast provider and also in video format on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/strawberry7. Coming up on the show today, we have 15 updates for you. We've got updates to Gmail, Marketplace, Google Sheets, Google Vault, Google Workspace, Google Chat, Google Vault, Admin, Google Forms, Admin, Google Chat, Admin, Google Chat, Google Workspace, and finally Google Chat. So I'll do my best to get through all of these, listeners. As always, there is a link in the podcast or video description to the document that we read from. This document contains some more detailed information, some lovely pictures, and even some moving graphics showing you some of these features in action. So let's get to it and on with the show. Our first update is to Gmail. So bulk select in Gmail on Android and iOS devices. Google is introducing a feature that enables you to bulk select a batch of messages in the email thread list with one tap using the Gmail app on Android and iOS devices. After clicking and selecting all icon, a batch of messages will be selected, enabling you to easily perform email actions such as deleting multiple messages or marking them as read. This feature is now available on Android devices and is rolling out to rapid and scheduled release domains on iOS devices, and this is going to be available to all Google Workspace users, including those with a personal account. Very, very nice to see, and there's a lovely moving graphic here showing you that in action, but it's pretty easy. There's just a box in the top left and it says select all, and then you can select all those messages. I know it'll be really, really handy for people who especially want to mark messages as unread en masse or mark them as read. Nice update. Next up, we have Google Marketplace. So, adding admin managed apps category to Google Workspace Marketplace. Google is excited to announce a new featured app category in the Marketplace, admin managed. These enterprise apps can be installed only by a Google Workspace administrator for their organization. This is available now to all Google Workspace customers, and there's a link that Adam's added in here so you can learn more about featured app categories. So we talked before about how you can kind of have these admin managed apps and apps that admins are controlling within your own organization. I think they can even be kind of internal only apps as well. So they're apps that your company may have developed just for your own use, and there's going to actually be a category for that, making it a bit easier to find those apps that are specific to, say, your organization or the apps that are available in your organization. Again, really nice update there that I'm sure will be very useful to people in those organizations. Next up, we've got an update to Google Sheets. New ways to use the Google Sheets app on iOS devices. You can now copy charts from the Google Sheets app on all iOS devices and paste them externally as images or within the same spreadsheet as a duplicate chart. In addition, you can modify text formatting using a contextual toolbar in Sheets when a keyboard is attached to iOS tablets. So this is a really nice update because this is just going to now enable you to take those whole charts out, put them somewhere else, or put them on another sheet. There's a very nice moving graphic here on the document showing you how you can just select those charts and you can copy them and easily put them in. So for anybody who's working with charts, really, really useful thing to be able to do. I wonder, I'm sure you'd be able to, but I wonder if you'd be able to like copy that chart and put it into a Google Chat, say, for sake of argument, because I can imagine that being pretty useful. So this is rolling out to rapid and scheduled release domains now. It's available to all Google Workspace customers and users with a personal account, and Adam's added a couple of links in here so you can learn more about editing charts or doing that on a spreadsheet. Next up, we've got an update to Google Vault. Access Google Vault audit logs alongside other Workspace audit logs. Google are excited to announce general availability of an improved Google Vault audit log experience. As a result of this change, you can now find Vault audit logs in the admin console alongside other Google Workspace apps like Gmail, Google Drive, and more. Beginning in January, Vault audit logs can now be accessed by the Reports API, which you can use to actively monitor your domain's Vault usage. Google will share more information here on the Workspace Update blog, but of course you can listen to our podcast as well when this feature becomes available. Aligning the location and functionality of Vault audit logs with other Workspace apps creates a consistent experience for admins and reduces the need to search for information in various locations. So this is a really nice admin update. As Adam and I have said on multiple occasions, we're admins ourselves, so anything that makes this easier to access and easier to see these logs is absolutely fantastic in our book, and just being able to sort of streamline this audit log experience is very, very nice. We've seen these improvements to the admin console as well, and they've always been very, very welcome. There's a bit of additional detail here. The duration, access and visibility of Vault audit logs will remain the same and will continue to require the Manage Audits permission. The Vault log admin audits can be accessed through the Vault reports and Matter audits links, as well as the admin console. Visit the Help Centre to learn more about setting this up, and there's a link that Adam's added in there. Getting started for admins, you can visit the Help Centre to learn more, and there's no end user impact to this. The rapid and scheduled release domains, there's going to be a gradual rollout, so up to 15 days feature visibility. That's starting on December the 4th. And then availability is to Google Workspace Business Plus, Enterprise Essentials Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, Education Plus, or customers with the Vault add-on license. Next up, we've got an update to Google Workspace. Solve maths equations easily with Smart Compose. For years, users have written content and replied to comments faster and more easily using Smart Compose in Google Docs, Slides, Sheets and Drawings. It's extremely useful. Today, Google are excited to announce a new feature that extends the power of Smart Compose to help you solve simple maths equations. Upon typing a maths equation that ends with the equals in your document, presentation, spreadsheet, comments or drawings, solutions will appear as grey text suggestions. This new seamless mathematical experience will increase productivity and accuracy when solving maths equations across Workspace. And there is a nice moving graphic showing this in action. Very, very simple. They've actually put quite a nice equation in here where they've got brackets as well. So it shows that it is capable of solving sort of a degree of complexity in the equations here, and yeah, it just works very, very nicely. Lovely update. I'm sure that people will find that very, very useful. Really nice enhancement to Smart Compose there. Getting started for this, admins, there's no admin control for this feature, but for the end users, this will be on by default. It can be disabled by opening a file and clicking Tools, Preferences, and deselecting Show Smart Compose Suggestions, but just bear in mind that will turn off all of your Smart Compose suggestions, not just these mathematical ones. And there is a link here to learn more about how to use this. The rollout pace here, rapid release domains gradual rollout, which is up to 15 days feature visibility, and that's starting on December the 5th. And the scheduled release domains, there's a gradual rollout as well, which is starting on December the 18th, so a little bit later. The availability on this, it's available to Google Workspace Business Starter, Business Standard, Business Plus, Essentials Starter, Enterprise Essentials Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Fundamentals, Education Standard, Education Plus, and the Teaching and Learning Upgrade and Non-Profits. Next up, we've got an update to Google Chat, so introducing a redesigned search results page in Google Chat. Building upon the recently announced improved search results in Google Chat, Google are also upgrading the search results page to help you find the right message, file, or space in chat. Specifically, Chat will now highlight matching keywords in search results and show clear demarcation between results for easier browsing. The highlighted keywords can be an exact match to your search query or terms that are related to your search query. This update improves content discoverability by making it easier for you to browse and locate search results quickly in Chat. Search results are based on the exact query as well as any additional queries that might have been triggered, secondary queries, synonyms, or spell corrections. So there's a nice graphic here showing this in action, and it does highlight here, they've, for example, typed in the search criteria here, Q3 electric bicycle sales by country, and then in the search results, it's kind of stacked them in order of what it thinks is relevant, and then there's sort of highlighted sections here where it's highlighted, for example, Q3 sales, and then it's highlighted e-bikes after that. So it's quite clever how the search criteria was electric bicycle, but it's detected e-bikes as being related to that. So that's kind of what it's talking about there. So very, very nice search improvements here. Google obviously got quite a good reputation for search, so it makes sense that they're improving search here, and it is really, really nice to see. The getting started here, admins, there's no admin control for this feature. For the end users, you can click on the link in our document that Adam's very kindly added to learn more about how to search messages in chat. And this is going to be available for all users on the web and mobile, which is really nice to see because we don't always get them at the same time. And this is going to be available to all Google Workspace customers and users with a personal Google account. Okay, next up, we've got another update to Google Vault. Admins in Google Vault can now export hyperlinked Google Drive content from Gmail messages. Starting December the 8th, 2023, admins can export Drive files hyperlinked in Gmail messages directly in Google Vault. When admins select Export linked Drive files, Vault will look for Drive hyperlinks in the body of the email being exported from Gmail. If Drive hyperlinks are found, a separate export of Drive files will also be created. There's a couple of graphics here showing kind of where that option is and what that sort of looks like in terms of an export here, and they've sort of highlighted where the link is there with how that's all sort of grouped together and how you can work on that. Admins will be able to find their exported hyperlinked Drive content nested under the corresponding Gmail export in the Exports tab. Vault admins can find the association between the Gmail export and Drive link, and then export in the export file names and metadata. Vault is critical for retaining, holding, searching and exporting of users with Google Workspace data. This update reduces the need for admins to manually find and extract Drive file hyperlinked in Gmail messages. This is never something that we've even remotely sort of gotten into. We don't really use Google Vault particularly, but I'm sure that there must be a use case out here and demand for that, because otherwise Google wouldn't have put this update to Gmail in there. So there must be a use here where admins are wanting to kind of get those specific hyperlinked files to Drive files from those Gmail messages. Again, really, really useful to see. I can imagine a lot of cases where this would be useful if you're wanting to search through those Gmail messages and get those links out, especially if it's a file that you're not too sure where it is as well. So getting started on this, admins can visit the Help Center to learn more about supported services and data types in Vault. And the Vault user interface update, the rapid and scheduled release domains, has a gradual rollout. It's up to 15 days feature visibility starting on December the 4th, 2023. The API update is a little bit different. That is a rapid and scheduled release with a extended rollout, which is starting on December the 4th. So sorry, it's actually the same. I don't know quite why Google have put that separately. The availability here, this is available to Google Workspace Business Plus, Enterprise Essentials Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, Education Plus customers, or customers with the Vault add-on license. Okay, next up we've got a admin update. So set client-side encryption as a default mode for new emails, events and files. So we talked a lot about client-side encryption before. If anybody's unfamiliar with what that is, it's where you can kind of add in your own encryption system separate to the one that Google use. It's great if you've got compliance regulations or requirements within your organization. Admins can now set client-side encryption to be on by default for newly created emails in Gmail, or Google Calendar events, newly created Google Docs, Sheets and Slides files, and newly uploaded Google Drive files. So this is really useful because as an admin you can just set it across the board for everything. Admins can set client-side encryption as default on for users in organizational units that regularly handle sensitive data requiring additional encryption. This allows organizations the flexibility to meet their compliance and regulatory requirements and reduce the burden on change management programs. Users are prompted to create a CSE object, that's client-side encryption, natively in each app, meaning their emails, events and files are encrypted by default with customer managed keys and are private from Google. For organizations with strict regulatory or sovereignty needs, this can help them close compliance gaps by defaulting users to the preferred mode for handling sensitive data. So yeah, this is super useful for when you've got those requirements and you're wanting to sort of keep your users in that requirement sphere. You're not having to worry, as it says there, about any kind of change management programs. What that means is like getting users used to putting client-side encryption on. Instead, it just goes on by default. There's a couple of really nice moving graphics here showing how this looks. And it's actually quite interesting because when you go in to create a new document, sheet or slide, it actually says blank encrypted doc, blank encrypted presentation, And there is an option to create just a blank presentation or blank doc, for example. So that's quite an interesting look there. And then it's got a moving graphic here in Gmail showing how that looks. And when you go to compose a new message, you just see for a second there that it's putting the encryption on. And there's actually a little shield icon showing you it's encrypted. So this is really nice. This is available on the web initially, with support coming for mobile apps in the future, so just bear that in mind. So just to let you know, Workspace already uses the latest cryptographic standards to encrypt data by default, at rest and in transit between the facilities, but client-side encryption goes beyond that, giving organisations authoritative control and privacy as the sole owner or private encryption keys and the identity provider of those encryption keys. It gives organisations higher confidence that any third party, including Google and foreign governments, cannot access their confidential data. Users can continue to collaborate across their preferred apps in Workspace, while IT and compliance teams can ensure the sensitive data stays compliant and within regulations. Getting started here, so for admins this feature is off by default, but it can be configured in the group or OU level. And end users use the Help Center, and there's a link that Adam's added in here to get more information about that. Rollout pace says a rapid and scheduled release domains. Feature visibility is up to 15 days, and that's starting on December the 5th, 2023. And then availability, this is to Google Workspace Assured Controls, is available as an add-on to Google Workspace Enterprise Plus customers only. So you just do need to be at that top level of Enterprise Plus customers to be able to have that. If you want to know more information about that, you can always contact us, because we're approved Google partners for both education and corporate. So you can just email us on info@strawberry7.com and we'll give you a hand with that. Next up, we've got a update to Google Forms. New beta to add granular control options for who can respond to Google Forms. So Google are introducing a beta that gives Google Forms creators more granular control over who can respond to their forms via sharing settings. Previously, Forms creators had two sharing options: restrict response to users within their domain and trusted domains, or make the form public. Anyone with a URL can respond. With this new option, form creators can limit response access to specific users, groups, or target audience, similar to how file owners can restrict sharing of Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, and Sites in Drives. Wow. Really, really cool. So you can basically just only send it out to your staff rather than your students within a school, for example. Pretty cool. This feature is useful in any scenario where you'd like to control who can respond to a form. For example, teachers can use this to ensure a quiz is only accessible by selected students who receive the link. Similarly, businesses, leaders can better collect feedback from specific organisational units and prevent the form from collecting email addresses or from being forwarded. So yeah, really useful. Getting started with this, the admins, for a limited time, you can sign your organisation up to the beta using this form. So there's a link in our document for accessing that form to sign up. Upon signing up, users within the Google group signed up for the beta should see the new feature within 2 to 3 weeks. And users, all new forms created by users who are allowed list will be enabled into this feature. Form creators must publish their form to enable responders to view the form or submit a response. Form creators can see who can access the form and share responses to specific users, groups, or target audiences. And there's a link that Adam's added in here for visiting the Help Center to learn more about creating forms. And users with personal Google accounts or Workspace individual subscribers can sign up using a different form, which again, there's a link in there for that. The availability for this is that it's available to all Google Workspace customers and those with a personal Google account. But note that the target audience feature mentioned above is only available for Google Drive and Docs and Google Chat services. Supported additions for this feature on Drive, Docs, and Chat include Business Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, Education Plus, Enterprise Essentials, and Enterprise Essentials Plus. Supported additions for this feature on Drive and Doc only include Business Standard, Non-Profit, and G Suite Basic business customers. Next up, we've got an update to admin. Turn on snippets for additional context surrounding data loss prevention rule violations. Admins can now view sensitive content snippets for data loss prevention rules. This allows DLP events for Drive, Chat, and Chrome. When turned on, snippets will log the matched content that triggered a DLP violation in the security investigation tool. Admins can use the information captured in the snippet to better identify actual security risks, determine determine whether a false positive was returned, and decide on appropriate course of action. So again, really nice update for the admins here. Anything that helps admins in their daily tasks, especially security tasks, is absolutely golden. And what this is basically saying is if there's some kind of breach in terms of data loss prevention or DLP, then it will take a little sort of snippet, as it says there, of what's happened. It will put that into the security and investigation tool, and it's just a bit easier for admins to go in and see that at a glance. So getting started here for admins, make sure that any admin you need to review the snippets have the view sensitive content privilege. Only super admins have the ability to hide or unhide sensitive data. This feature will be off by default and can be turned on in the admin console by going to Security, Data Protection Settings, Sensitive Content Storage. To view snippets in the Security Investigation tool, select any row from the description column and scroll down to Sensitive Content Snippets. Here you'll see the matched detector ID and matched content starting character and the matched content length. There's also some links in here to visit the Help Centre to learn more about DLP prevention loss. And the end user says no end user impact to this. The rollout pace here, rapid and scheduled release domains extended rollout, so potentially longer than 15 days, starting on December the 6th. And this is going to be available to Google Workspace Frontline Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Fundamentals, Education Standard, Teaching and Learning Upgrade, and Education Plus and Education Essentials Plus, Enterprise Essentials Plus customers. Also available to Cloud Identity Premium and Beyond Corp Enterprise customers. Next up is an update to Google Chat. So manage conversations by muting notifications in Google Chat. Google are introducing a new mute or unmute option in Google Chat to assist you in prioritizing and managing your messages. It's the latest feature within recently announced enhanced Google Chat experience and helps you to increase concentration, eliminating distractions, and ultimately focus on more important conversations. Muted conversations will not send push notifications, will not appear in home, and will also be visually deprioritized to being moved to the bottom of each conversation section. Notification badges will still apply to muted conversations when there are new @ mentions for you or everyone in the conversation. So there's a nice moving graphic here showing this in feature and showing how you can sort of mute this and how it moves and everything like that. This update is particularly useful for those who feel overwhelmed by numerous highly active conversations, as they now have an option to tune out the extra noise, protect their time, and heads down individual work, focus on more important communication. The unmuting conversations undoes the visual deprioritization applied to the conversation, and the notification settings prior to muting will reapply to the communication. So yeah, really, really nice. I mean, very, very useful in big organizations where you've got a lot of spaces, a lot of conversations, a lot of people, and a lot of chat. And like we said before, this is kind of bringing it in line with what you expect on other messaging platforms like iMessage, WhatsApp, where you can mute chats on there as well and just dip in when you want to, or unmute them when you've got more time. The getting started for this, admins, there's no admin control for this feature. For the end users, to mute conversation, click on the 3 dots in the left hand panel of any conversation, select the mute option. Alternatively, open the notification setting on any conversation and check the mute option. To unmute conversation, click on the 3 dots in the left hand section and click unmute. Alternatively, you can do the same thing, go into the notification settings and uncheck the mute option. And there is a link here that Adam's added to visit Help Centre to learn more about that. Now, rollout pace is different on the web and mobile here. So web is rapid release domains is a gradual rollout, so 15 days feature visibility starting on December the 6th. Scheduled domains is, again, feature visibility of 15 days, but starting on December the 18th. Mobile, rapid and scheduled release are the same, but a 15-day feature visibility, same as the others, and that's starting on November the 28th. So that's actually quite gone now, and probably a bit more available on mobile. This is going to be available to all Google Workspace customers and those with a personal Google account as well. Okay, next up, we've got an update to admin. Updated grace periods for resolving policy violations in managed iOS devices. Ensuring only managed applications can access sensitive information is vital to security. Currently, when admins make a policy change that results in an app going from unmanaged to managed, if a policy violation is detected, a 24-hour grace period is given to users to comply with this change. After this grace period, users will lose the ability to access their Google Workspace account. Moving forward, we're adjusting a few components to how this grace period operates to boost compliance and prevent inadvertent circumvention. Now, there is a bit of a grid in here, so if anybody's interested in learning more about this, I would recommend visiting our document, and this will give you a breakdown a bit more of how this is affected. Improving these safeguards is going to help ensure that not only managed applications can access sensitive organisation information. If the managed application does not meet the requirements of the access policy set by the admins, managed application access to workspace data is deactivated until the user takes proper steps. So getting started here, the admins can visit more on the Help Centre to learn more about this, and the end users can do the same, and there's links in here for both of those that Adam's added. Rollout pace here, the rapid and scheduled release domains is available now, so that's great. And this is going to be available to Google Workspace Frontline Starter, Frontline Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Standard, Education Plus, Enterprise Essentials, Enterprise Essentials Plus, and Cloud Identity Premium customers. Next up, we've got an update to Google Chat. Custom notifications for Google Chat data loss prevention rules are now generally available. A lot about data prevention loss and security in these updates. Earlier this year, Google announced the beta availability for admins to display custom notifications when a Google Chat message is blocked or intercepted based on data loss prevention rules. That was in one of our previous update episodes, actually. Beginning today, this feature will become generally available to the web and mobile. Great, so just expanding this a little bit. Custom notifications give admins the opportunity to provide their users with more context about why their message was blocked from sending to specific messages, what they can do to unblock themselves, and include links to additional resources such as information and organisation guidelines, sensitive data, and actionable recommendations. And there is a link in here to the original announcement as well, so that's really handy. The getting started here, the admins, there is custom notification can be set for each data prevention rule at the domain or organisational or group level. When creating a rule in step 4, actions under user message, select customize message. Custom notifications can also be applied to existing DLP rules. If admins do not customize a notification, the generic notification will be shown to users, and there is a link in here about learning more about preventing data loss and leaks in Google Workspace. There's a very nice graphic in here showing how to create a rule as well, and there's sort of different rules that you can create there and different messages. The end user, there's no action required, but depending on the admin settings, you might see more detailed information if you're trying to send a Google Chat message that meets the conditions, so basically whether it's enabled or not. And they've got a very nice example in here of a message that has been customized by the admin. The rollout pace here, the rapid and scheduled release domains, there is 1 to 3 day feature visibility starting on December the 7th, and availability is available to Google Workspace Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Education Fundamentals, Education Standard, Teaching and Learning Upgrade, Education Plus, and Frontline customers. There's DLP for chat is also available to Cloud Identity Premium users who have licensed for Google Workspace editions that include Google Chat and Audit Log Investigation. And there's a link in here to learn more about doing that if you want to do that. Okay, we've just got 2 more updates. We're almost there, listeners. This is an update to Google Workspace. E-signature is now generally available for Google Workspace individual subscribers. Earlier this year, Google introduced e-signature for docs and drives in beta, which I thought was fantastically useful for businesses because, again, it's another tool that you're not having to pay extra for. So if you're used to using things like DocuSign, potentially you don't need to use that anymore because it's now all wrapped up in Google Docs and Drive. Today, e-signatures for Docs and Drive is rolling out in general availability for all Workspace individual customers. Built directly into Google Docs, e-signature makes it easier for solopreneurs and small businesses to request signatures, keep track of and manage contracts like customer agreements, vendor contracts, stakeholder sign-offs and more. E-signatures can be used to request signatures, see the status of pending signatures and find completed contracts, sign off on official contracts directly within Google Drive, eliminating the need to switch apps, create a copy of a given contract so it can be used as a template in multiple e-signature requests. So yeah, really, really useful. I'm actually going to use this in one of my other businesses. Since the last announcement, we've expanded functionality to include the following features. Audit trail, all completed contracts will automatically contain an audit trail report. Nice. Multiple signer, the ability to request signature from more than one user. Very nice. Non-Gmail users, the ability to request an e-signature from non-Gmail users. That is super useful. I would definitely need that. Initiating e-signatures on PDF is in beta. The ability to initiate an e-signature on PDF files installed in Drive, again, super useful. We've also introduced more features for e-signature in the next few months. PDF templates, the ability to easily reuse PDF files as contract templates, and custom text fields, the ability to ask signers to add relevant information such as job title, email address to the contract. So that's really nice, not just a signature, but adding other information in there as well. There is some additional information here. Select Google Workspace editions can apply the beta test e-signature using this form. So there's a link in there to apply to that form if you need that. And Google will be accepting beta applications until December the 18th. So you better get your skates on if you want to get your application in for that. This feature will be available as part of the larger beta, which includes access to new custom email layouts in Gmail. These new email layouts allow users to customize email templates, reuse or custom layout in multiple email campaigns, or create a brand new layout from scratch. Once you sign up to the beta, you will see e-signatures and new Gmail features in the coming weeks. Getting started for this, the end users, Workspace and individual subscribers, visit the Help Center, and there's a link that Adam's added in here. Feature availability is on an extended rollout on rapid and scheduled release starting on December the 7th. And this is going to be available to Google Workspace individual subscribers, and eligible for beta is Workspace Business Standard, Business Plus, Enterprise Starter, Enterprise Standard, Enterprise Plus, Enterprise Essentials Plus, Education Plus, and non-profit customers. So really nice to see Business Standard in there. Okay. We're on our last update, listeners, so congratulations for making it this far. We got a lot of updates just before Christmas here. So Google Chat is our last update. Additional enhancements to the search results page in Google Chat. So Google recently announced a redesigned search results page in Google Chat that highlights matching keywords and results with clear demarcation between results for easier browsing. Today, Google is introducing a condensed version of your search results by only showing relevant parts of the message which closest match your search criteria. By selecting Show More, you can view the entire message without the need to open the conversation. So this is very similar to the one of the updates we had earlier about Google Chat with sort of search results, and they've actually kind of used the same graphic, but this is more talking about how they're shown. The update enables you to quickly identify the right search result in chat. So yeah, it just makes it a little bit more condensed and just a little bit neater. Search results are based on the exact query as well as additional queries that might have been triggered. So we talked about that earlier in one of the previous updates. There's no admin control for this feature, but the end users can visit the Help Center to learn more about Google Chat. The rollout pace here, rapid and scheduled release domains. There is a 1 to 3 day feature visibility starting on December the 8th. This is available to all users and all versions of Google Workspace, and that's on mobile and web as well. That's going to be rolling out, so that's really, really nice to see. And that is it. That is all of the updates that you need to know about everything happening in the world of Google Workspace. Remember that this podcast is available in audio format from your regular podcast provider and also in video format on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/strawberry7. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Hopefully we'll be back next week with my co-host Adam so that I can give my voice a bit of a rest, and we'll be back on Monday with more updates. But for now, goodbye.